Breaking news here at 6. Rolly Hoyt alongside Faith Woodard. We've learned just in the last hour a judge ruling there needs to be an earlier special election for the state Senate seat left open after the death of Gary Stubblefield. That's
Senate District 26, and it is the area where the proposed prison in Franklin County will be. Judge Patricia James ruled that the current date scheduled for the election would leave the people in that district without representation for the fiscal session next year.
Of course, the law says a special election should be no more than 150 days after a vacancy, but the governor has some discretion to hold it later. In this case, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders used that discretion to put the primary in March and then the general election in June. But Judge James says today that's too far and ordered her to set earlier dates.
Attorney General Tim Griffin says the state is planning to appeal the decision, and we will have more later tonight on how the ruling affects another lawsuit filed yesterday over a vacancy here in Central Arkansas.
Meanwhile, it's day 22 of the government shutdown. There's no end in sight tonight. The Senate expected to vote again on a House-passed funding bill.
It'll be the 12th vote since the shutdown began. Like the previous 11 votes, it is likely to fail as Democrats hold out for certain health care subsidies and reversals to Medicaid cuts.
The Republicans are working on another bill to try and pay certain federal workers. Well, today, Democratic senators say they're going to draft their own dueling measure that would pay all federal workers. Of course, there's no word yet on whether that bill could get a vote in the Senate. And the thousands of Arkansans who rely on SNAP are being warned to prepare to go without. DHS officials warning of possible delays or disruptions to their benefits.
THV 11's Maya Ellison takes a closer look at the community response and the organization stepping up to help.
For Arkansans who rely on SNAP, heading to the grocery store comes with new anxiety. On Wednesday morning, the Arkansas Department of Human Services released a statement warning of possible delays or disruptions to Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, benefits.
That the benefits will not be coming if there is no end to the shutdown before November 1.
The conversation has circulated amongst many in the community, like here at Uncle T's Food Mart.
Welcome to Uncle T's. How can I help you?
I would say probably maybe 75% of it, maybe 80, maybe a little bit more than that. Majority of it is EPT.
As they keep an eye on changes, they're worried about what it could mean for the community and the business.
It really concerns me not only for just the store, but the people, the kids.
They're not the only ones. Down the road at the Better Community Development Hoover Treatment Center, board members are also talking about the what ifs.
I mean, the main store down 12th Street is closed. I mean, this literally is food deserts.
What about the food for Christmas? What about the food banks?
It scares me to not know if I'm going to be able to get through with the next 2 months.
Teresa Robertson says she didn't realize how quickly benefits could be impacted.
The government shutdown causing all these problems, especially for single parents, that's a scary situation.
She says nearly everyone who comes through the center relies on SNAP, and for many, it's their only way to eat.
We have clients come in all the time that talk about how I've eaten out of a dumpster 3 times this week because my benefits got cut off.
Executive Director Deborah Bell shares similar concerns. She says a loss or delay in resources could create even bigger challenges for people in recovery.
Once a person completes treatment and they go back to the community and they do get a little job, they're going to need food. And if the federal government is shut down and they're not distributing food, then that person now has a whole nother challenge, which could possibly trigger them to go back to their addiction.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
And we had those warnings at the top. DHS officials are advising any people who rely on SNAP to connect with local community organizations. Reach out to family. Use the money you have right now to buy shelf-stable foods now. Also, to get connected with those resources right now, you can visit our website, thv11.com.
The sun is setting on what's been another gorgeous fall day here in Arkansas. We are looking at clear skies, beautiful conditions, 6:25 by the way, the sunset time, and we're looking northwest. And the reason we're looking northwest is a reminder for me to tell you to look northwest tonight with a set of binoculars or a telescope. Find the Big Dipper in the sky, and also Arcturus boots the constellation. You may see the comet Lemon. You got to have binoculars or telescope to do so. You can't see it with the naked eye. But wanted to pass this along. A lot of folks love to look for celestial events, and I'm also passing this along because this is the last day that we're going to have for the next several of having clear skies at night, because rain chances will be on the increase. Gorgeous out there, reading 60s and 70s. Still plenty of time to take a walk. Dropping off tonight and tomorrow morning into the 40s and 50s once again. And then the weekend rolls around. We'll start to see clouds sticking up on Friday, even a few showers, primarily western and northern Arkansas. And then Saturday, a better chance of rain and possibly some thunderstorms. I've got the timing of it coming up here in just a few minutes.
Well, the clock is ticking for child care centers here in central Arkansas. Some are facing a drastic drop in funding in just 10 days.
THV 11's Carter Thweet tells us how providers are scrambling for solutions.
On September the 19th, we were informed by the Arkansas Department of Education that child care center funding would be reduced.
Arkansas gets money from the federal government to reimburse child care providers when a family uses a voucher to pay for child care. As Secretary Jacob Oliva told lawmakers last month, that federal money isn't what it used to be.
When we got our allocation and we get quarterly payments, the formula changed and we had an $8 million reduction that wasn't being anticipated for.
To make up for it, the state is going to lower the reimbursement rates for child care places rated 3 through 6 stars. In the past, the higher you were rated, the more money you got. It spells disaster for Jody Abernathy, who has a 5-star center in Sherwood.
We're having to make several cuts. Several programs throughout the state are going to have to close because they are not going to be able to meet these new requirements and expectations that they have of us.
The impacts reverberating across the state. In Sheridan, Don Collier is already making changes.
In order to keep all of my staff employed, we've reduced hours across the board. We've stalled their benefits. And I know that a lot of centers have already made the announcements that they're going to have to close.
So with time ticking towards that November 1st deadline, the state is working to see if there's anything else they can do. Just this week, an emergency panel of lawmakers, researchers, and child care providers was formed to look for solutions. Collier and Abernathy both on it.
I don't feel like the Department of Education had the child care providers in mind. And so now we're being a little reactive instead of proactive.
We're already bleeding. We got to stop this before we're in full critical condition.
Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
All right, Carter, thank you. The state also began charging parents above certain income levels co-payments to take part in the school readiness program. The announcement at the time said the changes should help reduce a long waiting list for the program, but providers that we spoke to say those co-payments and those funding cuts all figure to make the child care they provide unaffordable for many of their current families.
Meanwhile, if you are a parent or guardian with kids enrolled in the Head Start child care program at UAMS, you need to start looking for backups too. After October 31st, the hospital will pause the service due to a lack of federal funding. Congress has to approve a new contract for the program, and the shutdown is getting in the way. The program has been using leftover money after the end of the federal fiscal year on October 1st.
Well, we've talked about the rapid growth up in northwest Arkansas. Well, now a multi-billion-dollar bond issue is aimed at fixing Fayetteville's infrastructure, and it's going to voters. Supporters are calling for a bond package that'll be worth more than $300 million. It would pay for improvements to drinking water and sewer, roads, the fire department, and more. The bond package will extend an existing 1% sales tax, so it wouldn't be funded with a new tax increase that you would see when you paid for something while visiting up on the Hill.
Every single thing that we need to do in this city, whether it be housing or any other sort of way to go about smart growth, really all comes back to infrastructure first. And so this bond is going to allow us to fund those critical infrastructure needs.
More special elections. This one will be on March 3rd of next year. The ballot will have 10 total questions where you can individually pick which places the money goes to.
It's open enrollment season for both workers and retirees, and many projections see costs jumping this year. So even if you do end up sticking with the same plan that you've been using, it is worth checking in on different options you have. Look into a high deductible health plan. It'll have that higher deductible plan for other packages, but it offers lower premiums, and the plan is usually paired with a health savings account that you can use on health-related expenses. Jill Schlesinger has tips for seniors on Medicaid.
If you are age 65 or older, Medicare open enrollment is underway. From now until December 7th, you can enroll, change, or drop a Medicare Advantage Part C plan, or you can add or change a prescription drug plan. That's Part D. Whatever you elect, it's going to take effect January 1st.
Now, scammers targeting people using popular rideshare services show how the new trick works and have already cost other people money.
Here we go weather-wise with those of you that are planning your weekend events and activities. Plan on some rain. Plan on quite a bit of rain for some. This is what it looks like so far. We've got a weather impact advisory for Saturday and Sunday. Kind of narrow down the timing of the precipitation when we come back.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on THV 11, our streaming app. Lots of great content coming at you 24/7. Remember, you can download it straight to your smart TV and watch for free.